Hex Heroes emote or not. I'd love to play first. I'd love to mulligan this one land hand. Yeah, this hand's fine, right? So what do I want to do with this Chrome Mox is the question. Do I want to hymn my opponent on one or Thalia on one? 10 out of 10 keeping. Another hymn to Tourach. Well, let's top that. And then, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and go Chrome Mox, pitch this Liliana of the Veil. And then we're going to hymn my opponent. And if we're a true professional, we're going to take their lands away here. Delver, true name. Rats. All right. Stifle Brainstorm, sure. Okay, so now everybody's got 2 cards in hand. Brainstorm revealed, sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and Wasteland this. Another Stifle. That's unfortunate. I guess I could have sequenced this better. Yeah, I should have played the Thalia first and then Wastelanded them. That was a mistake on my part. I should have played Wasteland to play around Days, cast Thalia, and then Wastelanded them. So we do just want to run some mana off here so we can cast this Gideon and then lock down this Insectile Aberration. And like if my opponent was just on 1 land here, they'd be pretty far out of this game, but because they have 2, they're not. I mean, there's a reason I'm playing Magic right now instead of just like doing anything else, right? Just to practice. I haven't played a lot of Legacy. I haven't played a lot of Legacy recently, and it's been a long time since I've played fair interactive Thalia Legacy. Long time. Not quite sure what my opponent's doing. They have Delver, but they also have True Name in their deck. Hopefully they miss here on a fetch land. And then we draw a land and just get to stick this Gideon. Found a fetch. Okay. Yeah, so like my opponent never would have been able to cast that Brainstorm even there if I would have... Alright, well, they can't counter this Gideon. And again, like if this Gideon was a Lingering Souls here, it'd be pretty terrible, right? Like I guess it could block the Insectile Aberration, but at the same time, this Deathrite Shaman would just eat the other half of it. So I'll prevent damage from that. I didn't say I didn't like fair decks, that it's been a while since I've played one. I think in general, Legacy is not a format that rewards you often for playing fair decks. But you know, I like to try things every once in a while. This is actually the first archetype I ever top-8'd a Legacy Open with. The Gideon's fine. It's like a pseudo removal spell that's like also a threat. That's also just like a card that Storm has to take off the table before they can end the game. Don't play a True Name. Don't play a True Name. Don't play a True Name. We dismembering my Thalia? Gitaxian Probe, sure. Oh, they're killing the Gideon, sure. And again, like, this whole thing comes back to the fact that I didn't play the Thalia before wastelanding my opponent, so they are up a mana this entire time. Like, my Gideon would still be here, so, like, if I would have taken them off a land, like, this game would just be over at this point. There would be no coming back for my opponent. So, you know, And that's why Legacy's like a fun format for someone that plays a lot of Magic. Like I feel like a lot of times, especially in formats like Standard and Modern, my decisions don't always directly impact the game, and like this game has gone sideways directly based on the decisions I've made during it. Sure, but like now I have to consider like is like the Gideon worth more than the Thalia? Because like the Gideon's just like sitting there treading water, and I do actually have to kill my opponent at some point. And like they haven't shown us Lightning Bolt yet, so like I feel like if they had Bolt earlier, they would have killed the Thalia, so they have to like find the Lightning Bolt. Okay, so I think what I'm supposed to do here is... Do they have anything that punishes just casting this here? I don't think they do. X! Stone Age X with the 8-month resubscription. 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. I suppose they could stifle this, but they could also just, like, stifle the equip, so... Basic Swamp. And I'm going to equip this to the Stoneforge Mystic, because this way, if they want to kill the thing that Jitte's on, they have to kill the Stoneforge Mystic and not kill my Thalia. Yeah, Stifle was going to get us either way, so I think this line is fine, because it allows me to get an attack with a Stoneforge Mystic, too. Alright, and then... I'm just going to go ahead and use these Jitte counters now to kill this. Actually, I'm going to pass here. I'm going to wait and see what they do with the Deathrite Shaman here. We could die to end step Shaman, untap Bolta Shaman us, but I don't think we have anything that allows us to play around that, because like this is going to do a similar amount of damage. Oh, no. Okay, so they crack the fetch here. If I hit this twice with the Jitte, then I don't die to a lightning bolt. You know what's great? You know what? This is the best part about playing Magic. This is the best part of playing Magic. I forgot how many idiots there are that watch this game, so we get to ban them. In Hex, the community's like smaller, so everyone's nicer, and like I can count on one hand the number of times I've banned people in that game. It's 3 times. And in Magic, I just, you know... So yeah, so I think we're supposed to, TLDR, I think we're supposed to just kill this Deathrite Shaman in response to this fetch, because this way we get to live through a Lightning Bolt next turn. Sure. I do die to end step bolt, untap bolt. That we can't beat. So like, you know, don't play around things you can't beat. Gideon. Gideon. Doesn't love a little Gideon in the morning. Yeah, and now the fact that I have Gideon to lock down this Insectile Aberration means I can just play around them drawing some burn here. This card's great. Can't cast Force of Will, there's a Thalia here. Yeah, buddy. Nice Force of Will. I love this deck. This is... I like grinding people out. Alright, so what are we doing post-board here? I think the second Batterskull is reasonable. don't know if the Rest in Peace is good enough. The Council's Judgments are certainly good enough. They showed us one True Name Nemesis. The extra Fatal Push is good. I think we want to trim the discard in this matchup. The Hymn to Tourach were okay there, but I think they're actually worse than the targeted discard on average. Like, in general, they have a lot of lower impact cards in their deck. It's possible the Ethersworn Canonist is good enough here. Chrome Mox is fine. They're a resource denial deck. Like, our opponent is a resource denial deck. So I think Chrome Mox being in here is good. You also have to remember, against our opponent's Delver deck, Wasteland is basically a spell a lot of the time. So like that means we only have we have 24 mana sources, and if we take away these Wastelands, we only have 20. I think this is what I want to do. I could see Rest in Peace and Ethersworn Canonist being reasonable, but we didn't see any Delve troops out of them, so without seeing a Delve troop, I don't think Rest in Peace is good enough. Hey, Trax. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and submit like this. Just cut the Hymn to Tourach in favor of some more spot removal, basically. Council's Judgment, Fatal Push, and an extra Batterskull here. Nobody plays around the second Batterskull. Copter's been very good for me. I don't know if it's perfect or not, but it's been powerful. Like, it lets you loot away extra discard spells in the mid to late game when your opponent's empty-handed. Gives you shit to do with, like, Chrome Mox. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep this. The question is, what am I binning to the Chrome Mox here? I'm going to wait and take a draw step. See what we get. Yeah, there's lag, I get it. Magic Online is quality software. I don't know what you want me to say. So the question here is, oh geez, I could Wasteland him and then Chrome Mox. Yeah, let's do that, actually. And then I'm going to Chrome Mox, pitch the Gideon, and then plow the Deathrite. Oh, yeah. Force the plow. Pitch True Name Nemesis. Ooh, that's good. That's some good stuff. That feels good. That's the line we arrived at was definitely the correct one for reference. I like this deck a lot. It's doing stuff. So that's why Gideon's good, right? Pitches to Chrome Mox. Duh. All right. Another Chrome Mox. So, huh. I mean, if the Screw Them plan was right last turn, it's got to be right this turn too, right? They shuffled with their Ponder. All right, sure. Wasteland you. Chrome Mox. Imprint Dark Confidant. Fatal Pusher, idiot. Oh. All right. Hopefully they don't have another land here. So Chrome Mox only makes mana of the thing you imprint on it. So we can't actually cast Bob if we imprint the Stoneforge Mystic. Otherwise, that's what we'd want to do for sure. Rats. All right, come on. Don't push my Stoneforge. Don't do it. No! Stoneforge. Please name Chrome Mox. Please name Chrome Mox. Please name Chrome Mox. Rats. They saw the line. Okay, what you got? That's really unfortunate timing for us. Forked Bolt, Daze. Yeah, sure, but like if I'm leaving them with the Deathrite Shaman in play, I don't think Wastelanding them is particularly good. Alright, I think I'm just taking the Bolt here. Hopefully we can afford to play around that Daze. Like maybe the fact that we're on the 5-mana Batterskull plan means that Daze is gonna be good, but I don't think we want to take it. I feel like they're gonna Daze something else at some point here. Yep. Yep. Alright, and they might draw out of the resource denial plan here now, which kind of sucks for us. I wanted them to name Chrome Mox with this, because if they name Chrome Mox, it doesn't do anything. I probably should have gotten Jitte here. Nah, I don't think that's true. Like, they didn't have a land. If they didn't draw a land that turn and the Batterskull got into play, the game was just over. Yeah, I definitely should have done. Yeah, I think our lines have been correct. I think our lines have been correct. Chose not to shuffle. Okay. So the difference between this and Death and Taxes. Well, we have black mana in our deck. You can find links to the deck list below the stream. It's not 100% up to date, but it is mostly up to date. So their hand right now is Daze, Forked Bolt, but they kept with the Ponder into a Brainstorm. Okay. Sure, but like, so like you're like playing around them, drawing like they don't have that many lands in their deck, and we'd already been through 3 of them, so figure they have 15 or 16 lands in their deck, maybe. Just gonna go ahead and plow this, I think. No, the thing I'm questioning on is whether or not getting the Batterskull versus the Jitte was correct. I'm pretty sure that getting the Batterskull was correct there. It might be right here to take them off of the Underground Sea, since we know they have Deathrite Shaman in their deck, and that can produce mana, so it like cuts them off of additional mana sources. And it cuts them off of Angler, which is a huge threat here. Yeah, alright. Maybe I'm supposed to take this. That was probably a mistake. Yeah, I should have taken him off the Underground Sea. Okay, I mean, build a fog. This blocks Gerbag Angler every turn on the back of the Karakas. Means they can't cast cantrips until we block and bounce it, of course. Yeah, but like cards like Stoneforge Mystic and Dark Confidant and Hymn to Tourach are like card advantage, so like it's not that big of a deal. And like drawing 2 Chrome Moxes is definitely sucks, right? Like there's a reason why there's only 2 Chrome Moxes in my deck. It's because drawing multiple is pretty sizable card disadvantage. I'm gonna choose to play this Batterskull around the Daze since we have the Thalia bouncing back and forth here. Yeah, like there's only 2 Chrome Moxes in the deck. Like it's definitely very real card disadvantage. Basically, think of Chrome Mox as like additional 1-mana spells. Okay, so now we're getting Wastelanded off our Karakas. That's unfortunate. Huh. Think I'm just taking the hit this turn. I'm going to jump with the Thalia next turn, so that way if we draw another land, we can play this Batterskull through a daze. Alright, and actually, before this Thalia dies, I'm going to crack all these fetch lands, because we know my opponent's playing Stifle. Although if they're playing Stifle, they'll just Stifle the Germ. So I'm not sure we really beat a Stifle here. We're not beating a lot of things here, is basically what it's going to come down to. Oh, you know what? I should have gotten 2 planes here, because if I drew Council's Judgment, I could Judgment this and then Stoneforge this out into play. Yeah, put myself dead to bolt. You know, quality play here. Okay, well, I'm better than expected. Shouldn't have fetched. The fetch was wrong. I just go like red land, bolt me. I deserve every second of it. Fatal Push. Deathrite Shaman, sure. Attack me, please. Another land. So now... I mean, we technically thinned the deck, right? I'm going to equip this to here. So we're going to attack in here. I guess they could technically trade their Gurmag Angler for this here, because they have the Deathrite Shaman too, but I think I'm okay with that, because then I just have a Batterskull to bounce back and forth. Yeah, but he could have drawn red mana. Oh, you don't think he has red mana past these 2 volcanic islands? That could be fair. So, like, now my opponent can double block here and, like, trade the fish for the Stoneforge Mystic, but I'm okay with that. I shouldn't have played my land out before I made this attack, because it gave my opponent free information. No blocks is actually good for us here, I think. Maybe it's not good for us. I'm not actually sure. They could have something like Ancient Grudge here that this Deathrite Shaman is going to enable. What type of free information? I mean, yeah, block. They're like trading Bolt plus the Gurmag Angler here. Oh, they're grudging the Batterskull, sure. And they just want to eat my Stoneforge Mystic too? Sure. Yep, I deserve that. Jurgit, yeah, it certainly did here. All right, game 3. I think I'm happy with how we boarded. I guess they showed us a fish that makes Rest in Peace slightly better. Yeah, I'm gonna cut these Inquisitions and board in that and a 3rd Thoughtseize since they have fish in their deck too. Inquisition's a little bit more reliability for bricking. See what else we got going on here. A little over 400 people hanging out here this evening. I'd just like to say thank you for choosing to spend part of your Sunday into Monday here with us. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a TCG player and content producer. And you've landed at my Twitch channel. If you're enjoying yourself and you're new here, I'd encourage you to show using that follow button there on your screen. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps other people find my work. If you're really enjoying what you want to see, there's a couple different ways you can support my content past that, such as subscribing on Twitch or becoming a patron on Patreon for varying amounts. There's information on how to do all that down below the stream. You can also support my content by supporting my sponsors. MTGO Traders buys and sells Magic Magic the Gathering online cards at mtgcardmarket.com. Love to buy or sell paper Magic cards with you. Sparedeck.com rents standard and modern paper Magic decks. And inkedgaming.com will help you customize your gaming experience. You can find more information about all of those and my sponsors link down below. Yeah, this one seems plenty reasonable, right? We get to curve Thalia into Stoneforge Mystic. I think I'm just going to lead on Marsh Flats and fetch a basic plains here. Just play around Stifle, which we know they have. I mean, we have Stoneforge Mystic. Stoneforge Mystic isn't a terribly impressive body. Copter lets you like have some card selection in our colors that don't necessarily have that much card selection. What are the Patreon benefits? Hilarious Max with the $4.99 a month resubscription for 14 months in a row. Thank you for the continued support. I do appreciate it. Welcome back. The Patreon stuff is very similar to the Twitch. It's just some people prefer subscribing on Patreon, basically, is what I've come to discover. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and run this Thalia into the Daze. We're going to run something into Daze at some point with this hand, so I prefer it's the Thalia over anything else here. How do I whisper? /W, a space, and then the user's name. I also have a couple of other like random things up on the Patreon, like getting your name and credits on videos and stuff when we do them, but it's mostly just the Discord benefits that you also get for being a subscriber here on the channel. Okay, another Fatal Push. That's pretty good. I'm going to start by attacking with the Thalia because they have a piece of removal for it here. They're probably going to play it before she deals damage. Yep, that's fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and push this Delver off a cliff. How important is this threat? How many signed anticipates do you get for the Patreon, right? That's a lot of content creators do that, right? They like mail out signed cards. I definitely have enough anticipates to mail out to people. Whoa, we are forcing the push on the Delver. All right, well, that makes our what's the next play decision easy here. We're just gonna push this again. Push that one. Pass the turn here. Get Wastelanded off of this. Feel a little bit bad about ourselves, but we needed to do that. Not only do we needed the black mana that turn, and we needed the double white for Gideon next turn. Play Stoneforge Mystic, get dazed. Nope. Alright, we're gonna get Jurgit since we already have the Batterskull in our hand. I'd love to use Stoneforge Mystic's ability. I would love to get Umezawa's Jitte. I have so many anticipates because you should not speculate on magic cards. This is the TLDR. Chrome Mox looking less than fantastic here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass the turn. There could have been an argument just getting a second Batterskull there. God bless basic lands. If our opponent has Ancient Grudge, we're gonna be more than a little sad here, but there's not really any playing around it. Yep. Okay. That's where the Stoneforge Mystic got to resolve. And then this represents a tropical island here, so we're not going to play this Jitte out. Huh. That's kind of funny. Get my backup Batterskull. Everybody needs a backup Batterskull. I mean, like, these 1/2s are going the distance. They're going for speed. They're all alone in this time of... Oh, geez. There's only one trop in this deck usually, right? I feel like there's usually only one trop in the deck. Don't stifle me. Don't do it. Yeah, sure. If you're looking to contact me, I would prefer a message on Discord, especially if you're one of my subs. Ideally, you should just post it in the subs chat, so that way there's other smart people in there as well that can have educated thoughts and opinions on the format. Cabal Therapy. All right. All right. I think I'm just supposed to put in the Batterskull here. They get to name Umezawa's Jitte because they know that's in our hand from the other Stoneforge Mystic. Yep. Now, if they had a Deathrite Shaman, the Shaman can make green mana to flashback the Grudge on the Batterskull. Remember, kids, always bring your backup Batterskull. Always bring a backup Batterskull. Because Batterskull, they really know how to party. Let me tell you what. You still do paper magic streams. So, I don't have defined times for any of my magic streams right now, which is something that I'm going to change at some point in the future. But with just the wife and the family and all that, it's tough to nail down particular times. I don't want to commit to a schedule and then like change it around a whole bunch. So at some point we're going to do more paper magic streams. Spell Pierce, that's rude. I really liked my Gideon. Yeah, double Batterskull. Getting in there. Always bring a backup. Ooh, that was a quick one. You have double skull in the main. That's aggressive. I don't know if I'm expecting a fair enough format to double skull game 1, but... Whoa, the 1-0-1-0 pairing. What is this? Alright, I think we're going to keep this. Our opponent's just, like, going to play a Preordain, and then we're going to die because we have double swords to Plowshares. But, like, if our opponent's playing fair, this hand's great. Please be a Delver deck. Please be a Delver deck. Please be a Delver deck. And this is the risk you run of playing a deck like what I'm playing. Like, you just get the awkward game 1 hand draw some of the time. Like, you're going to keep double swords to Plowshare, Stoneforge Mystic, and, like, your opponent's playing Storm or Sneak and Show or, like, some other deck that's just, like, completely unfair and doesn't care about the interaction that you have in your hand because you just have the wrong half of your deck, basically. Hopefully it's a Delver deck. This hand's very reasonable against Delver. I believe Storm's a little bit more popular online, especially. Probably Storm. Yep. It's funny, too. They're going to go turn 1 Preordain, and then we're going to die. That's exactly what happened. Seal of Jitte, your opponent. Yep. I definitely played Legacy back then. Used to play... Ooh. Don't kill me next turn, opponent. Don't kill me next turn. Don't kill me. Don't probe therapy me. On the list of draws in our deck, that's definitely one of the better ones. Opponent went top. I assume we're dead here since they went top last turn. You do you, opponent. Discard spell would have been better than Thalia there. Ideally, we would have been greedy and like drawn discard spell into Thalia, but it is what it is. Post board, these stone swords to Plowshares will be things that interact with my opponent. So we've got that going for us. We've got that going on at least. What you got? What you got? What you got, opponent? They're figuring out the sequence that kills me. Yep. They know I'm dead because I haven't taken a second turn yet. What if they twid me, right? Oh, please just have a bad ad nauseum. We're looking to dodge Lotus Petal here. Oh, that's a Lotus Petal. Probably dead. Cabal Ritual should kill us. Yeah, Cabal Ritual should be more than lethal, I think. Just with this probe here. I think As Foretold has any legs in Modern. I'd be kind of surprised. Maybe there's a Restore Balance As Foretold deck, but like I really feel like something like that you need to be impacting the board right away, which As Foretold just like doesn't do. So they can duress. It depends on what the rest of the cards in their hand were, right? Because they still had 3 cards when they started comboing. Do they have another ritual in their hand? They must have another ritual in their hand, right? Oh, they can crack that, sure. And then this gets Past in Flames, which then kills me. Okay, so they didn't have this in the things they flipped over, but that was in their hand. Actually, we can go check, right? Why did it say they were waiting on me? I'm auto-passed. So I thought I was auto-passed. So that's the game we're in now. No, this is not the Storm Twin player. Because that was Dwayne, I believe. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and concede now that we've confirmed that. Storm count is plenty. Now you're just sticking around. Like again, it's a liability playing a fair deck like this. Sometimes just going to have the wrong half of your deck and you're going to die because of it. So we'll cut Umezawa's Trigger here too. I O2 Twin. Alright. Canonist, rest in peace. Thoughtseizes. I cut a Smuggler's Copter by mistake. What else do I want to cut here? It's not the first time that's happened tonight either, Hilarious Max. Stick around. You'll see it plenty more, I'm sure. I think Lingering Souls is the cut here. Probably. Actually, I could see splitting the difference on Copter and Souls. Probably never want to draw 2 of either. Yeah, this is probably fine. If you are not interested in dying before you take a second turn, Legacy is not the format for you. It's going to happen more often than a lot of people care to admit. Regardless of if you have Force of Wills and Thoughtseizes and all sorts of other cards in your deck, you're just going to lose games because that's how the format goes. This is probably fine. Like, Rest in Peace is pretty good against them. Rest in Peace plus Surgical is actually kind of a non-bow, but like, if we like try to mulligan into a faster hand, we could get Cabal Therapy out of our interaction anyway, so I think this is okay because we have a couple pieces. The Wasteland's also a nice disruptive element. Forces them to fetch a little bit awkwardly. Hey, ZD Brick with the cheer. Thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Welcome. Into the cup the bits go. Probe me, sure. I feel like you're supposed to probe before you fetch there. So, like, what if you have Cabal Therapy and you want to cast it? Burn the surgical on anything he plays this turn. Oh, that's fair. Like if I yeah, we're gonna wait to see what happens with this ponder, right? Because I could like shuffle this ponder on him. You're playing Hex next. I play Hex every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, guaranteed. Sometimes we have extra random streams in there, and I have new Hex videos that get published on my YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, Sunday. So I put out new Hex content almost basically every single day. K. Smith with the 132-point cheer, rain in the little bits, and then drop the big old purple one in there on top of it. So yeah, I think I like the suggested of just burning the surgical on a random card here, basically. I think I want to take the probes out of their deck. Opponent chose not to shuffle two, so this is again like people talk about like I often talk about Magic Online being different than Paper Magic. And this is where it's different. Like, if we were playing Paper Magic, I'd have gotten to pick my opponent's deck up and look at what they left on top of their deck with the ponder here and kind of gain information. So, okay, get to screenshot their deck in hand here. So next turn, they might put a bunch of goblins on the table, actually. Which is kind of bad for us. Yeah, that's going to be kind of bad for us. Really want to draw a Thalia or a discard spell here? Hey yo, hey yo, hey hey yo, hey yo, do 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 do. We'll take to empty the warrants here. Why did I not realize this? Tracks with the cheer. Thank you and welcome. Yeah, I think I'm just supposed to take the empty here. We could die next turn. After what we just did. We could definitely die next turn. Oh, I forgot the one in the graveyard. Yes, I did. I forgot to click the one out of there. Just Magic Online things. Watch them punish us using that card with the Pass in Flames to kill us. Oh, mistakes were made. Scale of 1 to dead. Where am I at, JGood12? Where am I at? Every turn's an adventure. Dead. Apparently my opponent decided dead is where we're at. Taking Rest in Peace or Liliana? Probably Rest in Peace, right? Yep. Okay, sweet. Maybe not dead. We're talking about streaming at noon CST on Tuesdays and Thursdays and about 8:30 a.m. CST on Friday. You check my my website. I have a link there. That So their hand right now, they cast Brainstorm, so we don't know all of their hand, but they also didn't fetch. So they cast the Brainstorm. They cast a Cabal Therapy. So we know they have an Infernal Tutor. They played the Lotus Petal. We took the empty. So they have Infernal Tutor, Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual right now. The question here is, do I have a chance of dying if I play the Liliana the Veil and plus it and discard the Batterskull? Thalia is probably the safer play for not dying, but we also can't guaranteed play the Liliana the Veil next turn if we play the Thalia out. Interested in what people's thoughts are in this position right here. Like, this could definitely decide the game. Thalia's the conservative line. Liliana the Veil Ultimate's faster if we get her out now, though. It's probably just supposed to be Thalia, right? The fact that they're Brainstorm locks kind of encourages me to just, like, play the Liliana and plus it. So, like, how much mana can they make next? So if I play Liliana and plus it, they could go Ritual, Ritual, so that's +2, +3. So that's 5. This turns into 3, 6. Yeah, it's probably just the Thalia, right? Alright, we'll play the Thalia. I think the Painter deck is one of the many one of the many Blood Moon decks that's worse than Big Red as a... Yeah, it's just, you know, if we have a low chance of dying next turn, playing the Liliana out first has a higher upside, but we're pretty likely dead next turn since they have double Ritual Tutor, so Thalia is the one. Why this over Maverick? I don't know, because I like the cards in this deck better. It's like why this Maverick, Death and Taxes are all like doing kind of similar things, right? I like the way Liliana the Veil attacks the format from. I like playing with Planeswalkers, although Gideon's probably really good in Maverick, right? Liliana might help them Infernal Tutor, that's fair. This might be a tutor here. Yeah, just go get another piece of mana. Yep. So we know these are in their hand right now. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think jamming the Liliana here is better than wastelanding them. Since we know they have 3 pieces of mana in their hand. Oh, look at that. It auto-selected my last card. God bless. Alright, yep, we got a Dark Ritual out of them. That's pretty good. They could, double Cabal Ritual could let them combo through this Thalia. We gave it the old college try here. God, cantripping for us would be so good here. Oh, nope, that's pretty bad for us. This is probably Rit into Infernal Tutor. I'm just going to combo through the Thalia. We're not in a great spot. Anyone that thinks we're in a great spot here is silly. The only reason they cast the Infernal Tutor for Ritual is because they had a second Infernal Tutor in their hand. Yep. Yep. So now they get Past in Flames. We're actually just dead here, right? They can also just, like, go off with goblins, right? Yeah, so then Ritual gets them started here. So they can go... And this puts them up to 5. Yeah, we are exactly dead. We're exactly dead. Yep, they're going to... Storm count's going to be 8, and they're going to cast... No, wait. No, they have 1 over. They have us for 20. Yeah, I mean, like, he wouldn't have... He had to have the LED there, right? We knew they had the other Infernal Tutor, so the LED must have come off the top. At any rate, the opponent played that pretty well. So, no, wait, we're not dead, right? No, because the Infernal Tutor costs 3, and the kill card costs 5 because of Thalia. Yeah, they're 1 short, right? Yeah, because this costs 3, and then the other one costs... So you have to probe here? But probe costs mana 2. I'm pretty sure they're short. Glad I didn't concede. Yep, he gets LED and makes goblins. Okay, yep, that's fair. I don't have an out to goblins here. Good line by the opponent. I guess we should have just cast the Rest in Peace on 2 instead of being cute and casting the... No, we couldn't because then we were going to get goblins that turn. Wait. What? Okay, they missed the empty line. Okay, they could have cast empty there. They chose to shuffle. Okay, that's good for us. Yep, opponent missed the make goblins line. God bless. Yeah, make them kill you. You know they're not ghosting. Got it. Is this worth bringing in, since we know they have goblins? Yeah, I feel like the Engineered Plague is worth bringing in. I have a Engineered Plague and Humility in the board right now, and then I have Council's Judgment to kill Trinium Nemesis as opposed to Zealous Persecution. I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring in... Yeah, if we know they're on goblins, the plague seems fine. I've got two tutors. This hand is phenomenal if we get... They mulliganed. All right, please give us a turn. Please, dear opponent, please let us take one turn and fetch for a land so we can Thoughtseize or Inquisition you. Our Enlightened Tutor's worth it. Yeah, we've got two tutors to double up on all of our sweet artifacts and enchantments. Please don't mulligan to 6 and kill me on 1. Please don't mulligan to 6 and kill me on 1. I wasn't expecting them to bring in goblins, so I didn't have the plague the first time. Man. Discard into permanent-based disruption. Sign me up. You know what they say about people that play Scrublands? Same thing they say about people that play Badlands. Would highly suggest removing Humility from your 75. I don't know if I agree with that. Taking a Lion's Eye Diamond away. Sounds fantastic. All right. So I think I'm going to cast the Rest in Peace here. Nah, I'm just going to cast the Thalia. Who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? And then next turn we can go Wasteland you plus Thoughtseize, and the following turn we can play Rest in Peace. The old pay a mana. God, that's so good, Ryan. I've never heard that when they're plateauing your magic crew. That's fantastic. I'm going to add that to my Scrubland Badland spiel. Can you take my Rest in Peace away? This has got to be a discard spell, right? Another cantrip, maybe? Wait, why did they tap that? I'm so confused. We have a 0 mana spell to play? I think next turn is going to be... Is it Wasteland Thoughtseize this turn? Yeah, I feel like it's Wasteland Thoughtseize. Let's go for the magic mana denial plan. I know they have a tutor in their hand to take at least. No, they have all the mana. And they have another wastable land, which is sweet. This was a good improvement to Magic Online. The cards you see out of their hand get revealed over here now. If they had a tutor there, we could have possibly been in trouble. Well, all right. If it was the right play last turn, it's definitely the right play this turn, right? I mean, Cabal Ritual's technically plus more. We're going to be streaming Magic Online on the... It's less mana once I get Rest in Peace out, but I think that's the fine one to take here, especially with this Wasteland. Magic Online is going to be a regular part of the schedule here. I don't have a set schedule for Magic Online yet, but we will at some point. But I think the format we like without Miracles, I think it's going to be wonderful. Playing against Miracles was not enjoyable. Cabal Therapy. So long, rest in peace, my old friend. Definitely the card they're taking here. Yep. Alright. Hopefully we hit a land in one of our next 2 draws, so we can play this Gideon in 2 turns. Perfect. Now that I have 32 gigs of RAM, yep. Yep. Yeah, in fact, we streamed Modern a couple times this week. If you check my YouTube channel, there's archives up there. That's a good message for everyone in general. I'm only going to be streaming for probably another hour, 45 minutes tonight or so. If you're looking for more content from myself, you can check my YouTube channel. 100% of my streams get archived there. This is your first time watching me stream Magic Online since I've been back. You should know that I streamed 4 times last week, I believe, and all of the archives broken up by deck are on my YouTube channel. We played Legacy and Modern. If you want to see more Deadguy Ale, you can definitely check that out. I've never played in a Pro Tour. No desire to head that route. It's really expensive. So let's make an emblem that says, I can't lose while I have a Gideon in play, and now we have lethal on the table. After the Team Legacy event, my next paper event is going to be, I believe I'm going to the Invitational in Roanoke at the end of June, beginning of July. I think I sorted that out. So Gideon's emblem says, you cannot lose the game as long as you have a Gideon Planeswalker in play. Gideon 1, Storm 0. We're now 2-0 in this league with the Deadguy Ales. No chance for Vegas. So not only are the constructed events in Vegas themselves $90 a piece to play in, but like, you know, it's going to be like a $400 plane ticket to get there, and it's going to be a, you know, $200 to $300 in hotels to stay. So like, I'd have to blow like $1,000 on a trip to Vegas, whereas like, you know, the trip to Louisville is going to cost me $150 tops. The trip to the Invitational is going to cost me $200 tops. So like, the cost of going to Vegas, I could play in a dozen other events. Yeah, I had a donation goal for Vegas, but then I decided I just really didn't want to go, even if we hit that donation goal, so I took it down. And no one had really contributed. There was one person that contributed to it, and I offered to send them their money back. It's just such a huge use of time. Like, for those of you that aren't aware, I'm a father of 2. I have 2 boys. My oldest is 3, and my younger one turns 2 in a week. So, like, if I want to take a trip, that's going to be something long, like Vegas, like that, the Invitational. My wife has to take off of work so we can have someone watch them. You know, there's a lot more cost than just like, you know, there's probably, or if my wife doesn't take off of work, then it's another, you know, $200 or $300 in childcare costs for 2 days. Yeah, I was actually at the first GP Vegas. That was the same weekend as EDC last time, and that was not a pleasant experience. No, I have no intentions of playing the obnoxious amount of Magics that I played last year. In fact, I'd be pretty surprised if there's probably less than 10 people that played as much Magic as I did the last couple of years. I played close to 400 sanctioned matches every year for like the last 3 years straight. I think I was counting, and I played 30 weekends last year and like 31 or 32 the year before that. Why would I want to drive to an RPTQ? Why would I want to pay money to play in a tournament that then qualifies me for a tournament that I need to drive a couple of hours to play in, that I now have to pay an entry fee to get into, that then doesn't even have relevant prizes but only qualifies me for another tournament, where I then also have to run hot to get prizes? Like, that's a huge waste of money. Seems fine. We've got 2 removal spells for opponents playing a spell-based combo deck again. It's going to be a little bit awkward. But we do have the Thalia in the opener here in case our opponent's playing a spell-based combo deck. I'd like to key in on a fallacy, and I'm going to rant here for a minute, so apologies if we ignore the gameplay. Nanan Up said, it's a huge waste of money if you are bad, but implying it's not a huge waste of money if you're good. Man, fucking Lotus Petal decks, man. Magic is a game that contains variance by design. The best players in this game are winning upwards of 75% of their matches, if they're lucky. At the GP and PT level, the best players in this game are probably winning closer to, let's say, 60 or 65% of their matches. I'm an above average player, but that means at a, open Grand Prix PT level, I'm probably winning 60% of my matches. If I'm lucky, probably somewhere in the 55% range. That means even if I'm one of these better players that's winning 60 to 65% of my matches, my chances of cashing or top 8ing or winning an event are very, very minuscule, which means that the way Magic events are structured, where all the prizes are really, really top heavy, you can't, it's almost impossible to even break even just consistently top 16ing, top 32ing, top 64ing large Magic tournaments, just because of how stacked top heavy the prizes are at these things. So you have to have a large upfront investment where even if you're a reasonable player, you have to go to Grand Prix after Grand Prix, or Open after Open, or RPTQ and PTQ after PPTQ after PPTQ, to eventually spike one where you run well enough, because even if you're running 65% of your matches, that means you still have a very small percentage chance of doing well. So, no, even if you are a good player, that does not guarantee you anything. It doesn't. It's just a fact. The numbers, God, we're gonna fucking die. They mulliganed to 6 and had to ponder for their first land drop, and we're gonna die. God bless. Are we gonna die? Oh, they have the draw cards card is the last card in their hand. Sure. They've already burned 2 Lotus Petals, though. So unless they're playing Tess, they don't have a lot of free mana here. No, that's a tutor. All right, what are they doing here? Yeah, sure. And and ultimately at the end of the day, to prefix that rant with a happier topic, is that Magic is something you should largely do for fun. And even as someone like myself who enjoys playing Magic, and like I said, I traveled for Magic 30 weekends last year, and over 30 weekends the year was just Cabal therapy, be sure. The year after that, and I did it because I enjoyed doing it. Now, that being said, 2014, 2015, 2016, I traveled, played 30 plus weekends of Magic, and I finished all of those years in the black. I made a profit traveling to play Magic. It wasn't a large profit, but I didn't lose money doing it. But I'm a functional contributing member of society who has an adult job that pays, an okay amount of money outside of streaming Twitch. My wife works. I take care of our kids. I don't need money from playing Magic. It's just, if my hobby makes some amount of money, I can afford to do more of my hobby instead of work. So but again, you're not going to get rich playing Magic even if you're the best in the game. And if you're not the best in the game, you should just, use it like a vacation and travel and see neat places and play some games with your friends. The people are the best thing about Magic. Getting to travel with people you enjoy spending time with, that's the best. Myself and Mapamonte and the other people I've traveled with consistently, those are what make Magic fun and what make Magic worth doing. People that want to actually make money have a brain and will just go get a job and make some actual money playing the game and make actual money doing other things, making 6 figures a year, I live in the middle of the cornfields in nowhere, Illinois, so living comfortably here only costs me, the 60 or 70 grand a year that it does. Peace, Frank. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by here tonight. We're just going to board the same way we board against the Storm deck earlier tonight. We're going to bring in a bunch of our spell-based disruption here. Real job, magic for fun. That was funny. Like, I often had people message me and be like, how do I do what you do? How do I play a bunch of Magic? And the first answer to that question is always get a job. Like, if you have to worry about where your rent money, if you're paying rent or, God forbid, feeding your children depends on you cashing the Magic tournament you're planning to go to this weekend, don't go to the fucking Magic tournament. Get a job and go work for 8, 9, or 10 hours over that weekend and save some money and be an adult and take care of your family and your responsibilities. And then when you have extra money, then go play the luxury hobby that's expensive. I had a friend that I knew through grinding that and I'm not gonna put a name to this person, so don't ask. They conceded the last round of the Open that they were playing in because if they didn't get the cash payout for top 16, they weren't gonna have money to eat dinner that night. And it's just like, they couldn't wait for the top 8 check because they weren't going to have money for their food that night and the next week. They needed the cash that you got for top 16ing. And it was just like, man, you probably should have skipped the tournament. Chuck MTG with the 300-point cheer. Thank you for the cheer and thank you for watching. I am happy to be here. Magic Online is still medium minus, but it is definitely the best way to play Magic, and it's definitely the best way to produce Magic content. Like, we've struggled through, you don't get paid for days or weeks later for cash up. You don't get cash on the spot. In fact, now you don't get cash on the spot for any of the finishes you get in the Open. Once upon a time, they used to hand you a $100 bill for top 16 of the Open. Like, you'd go up at the stage at the end of the tournament, they'd hand you $100. Now everything is checks. Oh, Magic Online. Oh, Magic Online. All right, what do you got here? Let's take a look, Sapoo. So, if they only had one Brainstorm here, I'd snap off taking the Brainstorm. I think I'm going to grab the Dark Ritual, though. Like, these cards could just be literally anything. And I think, again, because they have 2 Brainstorms, I'm not going to take one of those. So I'm just going to take the Ritual out of their hand here. What do I do for a living? My primary job at this point in my life is a stay-at-home dad. I mostly just work. I have a master's degree in mathematics, and I adjunct off and on evening classes as time permits, but my primary job is taking care of my 2 sons, who are 3 and 2 years old. My wife works full-time as a business analyst for a major insurance company. But between Twitch and some content stuff, I write for a couple different websites that make some amount of money, but I was working as a systems analyst for an insurance company before my oldest son was born 3 years ago. And then it was cheaper and more efficient. We just wanted to, like, raise our own kids while they were small. So I decided to stay home because my wife's job had better benefits than mine. Top got banned, so Miracles is not locking Storm out of format. I actually think the deck we're playing is a pretty reasonable Storm matchup. I might want 1 or 2 more permanent-based hate piece cards in my board, and actually the main deck Fatal Push might be better as a Thoughtseize, but alright, if we don't draw another piece of disruption here, Enlightened Tutor is excellent if we get another turn. So I'm just going to play this Wasteland, and I'm going to Wasteland my opponent's Underground Sea. And then at their end step, we can Enlightened Tutor for a hate piece. Probably Ethersworn Canonist. My wife just has a bachelor's. And I only have a master's degree because it was free. After I finished undergrad, I didn't feel like becoming an adult and getting a real job, and one of the schools I applied to offered to give me an assistantship there for grad school, so I didn't have to pay for the grad school. They paid me while I was there because I was doing teaching, so it's just like, well, I mean, if you're going to pay me, I might as well go through and do it. Yep. So their hand could be anything right now. We know they probably still have a brainstorm. Yeah, I actually grew up about 2 hours north of here. I've only lived in Bloomington. I actually moved to Bloomington for grad school. So I grew up in the Chicago suburbs, and then we moved down here for grad school, and my wife got a job, and I got a job, and then we stayed. Because I don't know anyone who's not familiar with the Chicago area. I don't really want to raise my kids in the Chicago area. There's a lot of crime up there. Yeah, 400, I don't know what that dollar amount is, but the amount of money you make playing Magic on, it's like, what are you doing for retirement and insurance and, like, all the other things you should probably have as a responsible adult. My master's is in mathematics. I didn't have a focus. My master's project involved study of network theory, doing automations with Python, but nothing too specific. I enjoy calculus. Don't worry about the gun crime. I think we're going to e-tutor for the Ethersworn Canonist here. I think that's the winner. Modo, please. Modo, please. Alright, or we're just dead and it doesn't matter. Brainstorm's a heck of a magic card, let me tell you what. I enjoy calculus. Yep. What is this getting? Oh, this makes 3 mana, right. So this can get Past in Flames then. And then they could Past in Flames for Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual into Petition again. Okay. Okay, yeah, and then this is lethal because I've already taken damage. They did mess it up last time, so I'm going to make sure they don't mess it up here. Alright. Not going to make him click through it all here. If Moto will let me concede, we will concede. So it's a turn 3 kill through a Wasteland and a Thoughtseize. And again, the permanent base disruption is really what you need to beat Storm, so it's possible, like, these surgical extractions could be more permanent base disruption, or even just the Enlightened Tutors should just be more permanent base disruption, like the Enlightened Tutor board plan might be too cute overall. So, the first person to say they enjoy calculus. The first date I went on with my wife, we went to see Calculus the Musical together. And yes, it is as corny as it sounds. But it is, in fact, a real thing that I did not make up. It exists. Someone else made it. There are lots of songs. Google it. Yeah, the more I play, the more I think maybe these e-tutors should just be more permanent base state. And the package is just too cute. It's probably just too slow. Like, one Thoughtseize really isn't enough. The Wasteland's, like, kind of okay. I guess Gideon's technically a hate piece, right? Yeah, Gideon's technically a hate piece. We just play Gideon and Emblem him on 3, so we just need to try and we need to not die on 2. Yeah, like this is a spell, right? Like these are technically all interaction. Opponent mulligans to 5, sweet. Hand is sounding better. Their mulligan also means they're probably more inclined to fetch dual lands because they're going to be tighter on mana. I think Gideon's very good in general. He's good against the Delver decks too, so like it's pretty rare, I feel like, that like you can look at a Magic card and go, I want this against Delver and I want this against Storm. I started with just a couple copies on the board and we're up to 2 in the main now. Yep, alright. Well, we'll take the probe. Sure. Yep, that's smart, because we have Thalias in our deck, so... Speak of the devil and she will appear. I failed Algebra 1 in high school, because I just had no interest in doing math. I went into college with every intention of being a computer science major, and then I took Calculus 1 and something like just really clicked, and it was really one of the first classes that I like really enjoyed, and like I wasn't really liking the programming classes I was taking because they were kind of boring and redundant. Like I was already doing like programming as a hobby on the side, so I was like, why am I paying you people to teach me how to program when like I'm already pretty reasonable at programming? So I was like, let's do math, because math is fun and it's hard to learn. I majored in liberal arts. Well, I hope that's a joke, because if you are struggling to feed your family, you shouldn't subscribe to my channel. But I'm hoping that that's just a liberal arts funny. Sand is shaping up well. Pretty sure we just want to play the Gideon here, so we've got 2 pieces they need to combo through. Gideon also just, like, starts hitting like a truck next turn, right? Just, like, 4 damage, pop it up, pop it up, pop it up. I think this is going to be our last match of the night. It's 11:30 here. My kids are going to be up at like 6.5 hours, so I should probably call it after this one. You cannot redirect tendrils to Gideon. You cannot redirect tendrils to Gideon. I have in fact played Eternal card game. I wrote a review of it. Let me find you said review. Look at that. WordPress is great. Yeah, the Thalia art is fantastic. So, am I doing Bob plus Batterskull here? Probably. It's probably just Bob, Batterskull, Wasteland you. Oh, I forgot to attack with this. Whoops. I was digging someone up a link and completely forgot to use Gideon. Yeah, well. Scale of 1 to dead, they're probably pretty dead. Double emblem, right? And opponent concedes. Alright, so it doesn't really matter that we ended up miffing that up. Gideon's emblem says As long as you control a Gideon Planeswalker, you cannot lose the game, and your opponents cannot win the game. You get a... Does Gideon... +1? No, it does not. You gotta let us know, is the 3-2 dream is alive. I have, in fact, 3-2'd every league I've played with this deck, so one more match can't hurt. Alright, fine. One more. Sleep is overrated. If this... Okay, we're gonna leave it up to Magic Online. If this finds us an opponent in a minute and a half, 90 seconds. You got 90 seconds to find us an opponent, Magic Online. If you find us an opponent in 90 seconds, we'll play one more. Both of my 3-2s that I've done with this deck so far have been... Oh, look at that. We got one. All right. So, both of my 3-2s that I've done with this deck so far, one of the matches in each league, I made a pretty critical mistake and punted, and the other one I just kind of got run over because my opponent's deck was firing on all cylinders, and they drew well. So, hopefully I can avoid the punting, and then we will finish 4-1. Seems pretty reasonable. It's a little soft to an opposing Wasteland, but we are on the play here, so we get to Thoughtseize off a Scrubland, and then hopefully play a Confidant on 2. K-Smith with the cheer. Alright, this is the absolute last one for the evening, win or lose. What are you playing, opponent? Show me your secrets. Huh. Alright, well, our deck's actually pretty good against Blood Moon on average, but this hand is not good against Gideon. So we're going to take the Magus of the Moon here. Our deck has a lot of basics in it. Our deck actually doesn't care too much about Chalice on 1. Like, we've got some things that care about Chalice, but not a ton. Let's see if they drew a red card to Chrome Mox Chalice. If they Chrome Mox Chalice, I really don't care. We drew Batterskull, sweet. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and put Dark Confidant out here. Start drawing us some cards. Opponent's not playing big red. They're probably playing... Chrome Mox usually means they're like a Stompy deck, like Goblins or Dragon Stompy. Oh, geez. Did they draw running red cards into a Blood Moon here? It's going to be really unfortunate. Yeah, it's looking like they drew running red cards into a Blood Moon. Nope, Chalice. Wait, what? Did they exile anything here? Did they just play that and not exile anything? Maybe they thought they could exile a... Maybe they thought they could exile an artifact to this? Okay, so they've played a Chrome Mox, a Chalice, and 2 Mountains here. Opponent has lost connection to the game. Okay. The old Chalice, Chrome Mox, don't void anything to it, disconnect of shame. Punted, so they're back. They were supposed to be having connection issues. Maybe they realized they needed to restart their Magic Online. Maybe they clicked this by mistake. So, looking for fetch lands here so we can start fetching around a Blood Moon that's going to come up. Perfect. Yeah, and actually, I'm just going to get this Liliana into play ASAP here. If I fetch this, I can't play the Gideon, but I'm going to get to draw 2 cards next turn anyways. I think I'm just binning this Wasteland to my Liliana. I think I want to keep the Batterskull around. Probably discarding the extra chalice that they have. Oh, they have another Chrome Mox, sure. Maybe they thought they could Chrome Mox, which is not how that works. Death Shadow matchup. Engineered explosives. However many engineered explosives you think are enough, it's not enough. Play a minimum of 3, and if you're expecting a lot of Death Shadow, you should just play the full 4-ball. It's possible I should have played the the Stoneforge Mystic there to play around the Blood Moon more, but I guess this kind of... Oh, sure. Spirit Guide deal. Looking for some lands here. Okay, sweet. So we get to take away the last of my opponent's toys. So him to Tourach, you, and then... Yeah, I read DS's Diamond Sapphire 2 for 0. I was like, wait, what do I need to do here? Okay, opponent concedes rather than showing us more cards. I think I want to just board out some of these 1-mana things, possibly. I definitely want Batterskull, and we'll certainly want Council's Judgment. I streamed with Kiki this week. You can check it out on my YouTube channel. I think I'm just going to cut some mix of these 1-drops here. Probably this. Seems fine. Again, just trying to minimize the impact of Chalice of the Void on the matchup. It's possible Thalia's not stellar in this matchup, so maybe I should just like bring in an extra discard spell. I think I'm going to give this a go. Let's give this a try. Chrome Mox is actually pretty good because it makes colored mana through a Blood Moon, which is nice. Seems okay. Tutor for... That's... Huh. That might actually be okay. I think this is okay. We don't have a ton of hands that are good against a turn 1 moon, right? Like this is no exception. Hopefully this is just a Chalice of the Void. Yeah, the way they tapped for it, it felt like Chalice of the Void. So this is fetching a swamp. We thought about Big Thalia. I haven't, actually. Maybe I should. The Lingering Souls have been, like, medium minus, so, like, Big Thalia might be a candidate for those slots. Alright. Off we go. You think I want a Confidant? We can Smuggler's Copter next turn. Confidant's just like actual card advantage here. Can hopefully help us draw. We've got 2 basic plains and 2 swamps and 2 Chrome Moxes in our deck that Confidant can help us find. Oh, we flipped Karakas. Sure, not the better. I was like, that hurts. Alright, play the Karakas that they know about. Play Smuggler's Copter. Smuggler's Copter could actually loot through a Lingering Souls too, which is kind of sweet, so we can flash it back with the Swamp. This Batterskull is castable as well. This is where the scary stuff starts happening, right? 4 mana. So we got 3 looks at a black source here. Play this Liliana the Veil to edict away whatever they're playing. Holy crap. Seriously? That's certainly a thing. What are you doing? Are you crashing? Are you okay? What's the deal here? That feels like it was a good draw. I'm going to him to Tourach my opponent here. You know. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. I turned my Magic Online screen off intentionally while I'm logging in. Alright, welcome back. What did our Hymn to Tourach take? Hopefully all of their good cards. That's what you get for doing one more match, right? Cough of the Hammer and a Mountain. Yep. We've got this Batterskull to cast next turn, too. God bless. Alright, so they don't have a Speedy Dragon. That's good. You know what's great, too? This Batterskull Germ gets to, like, crew this Copter. Who's excited? Who's excited for this Batterskull Germ to crew this Copter? I am excited for this Batterskull Germ to crew this Copter. When busted artifacts get together. I would love to loot Smuggler's Copter. Thank you for asking. Yeah, maybe I should have kept that land, actually. I would get to a point where I can, like, bounce and replay Batterskull at the same time. Like, all these double... These cards aren't doing a whole lot. Yeah, the hard cast Simian Spirit Guide. I like it. Seems unsafe for a Germ to drive a scooter, right? Continuing to attack is bold. I feel like I'm just going to crack them with this. I'm going to play this Liliana, and I think I'm going to trade the Liliana for the front half of... Is that true? Nah, I'm just going to plus this. Please just equip the Batterskull to Scooter, right? If he plays his last card out, and we know that it's going to guarantee... Yeah, okay. Now we'll equip the Batterskull to the Looter Scooter. Magic the Gathering the way Richard Garfield intended it to be played. Please don't concede. Please don't concede. I want a picture of the Batterskull on the scooter. I want a picture of the Batterskull on the scooter. Beep, beep. I got my picture. That's all that matters. I got the picture before this came up. All right. We're 4-0. I'm signing off for the night. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I do appreciate it. Remember, if you missed any of tonight's stream, you should check it out on my YouTube channel. The archives will be uploaded there in the morning. If you want to see more of this deck specifically, and you didn't catch my stream earlier this week, I did stream once already with this Deadguy Ale deck, and you can find an archive up there on my YouTube channel. I'd just like to say thank you again to everyone for watching. Hope everyone's having a good start to their week. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream Hex and Magic here several times per week. So please, if you're new here, give the channel a follow so you get notifications for when I go live. You can also support my content in a couple different ways, such as subscribing on Twitch or becoming a patron on Patreon. There's rewards for those different things, so check those out in the stream information down below. You can also support my stream by supporting my sponsors, mtgotraders.com, inkedgaming.com, mtgcardmarket.com. I write for them every single week. You can look for my written Magic content there, and also sparedeck.com if you're looking to rent cards. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to go ahead and send you over to a host here. Who do I like? Rich Shea streaming Legacy and Vintage. Let's give him a host.